So today's recording is going to be of a CMS conversion to make it a valid volume. So CMS, this is an example of a standard CMS. It's a basically a scan underground of a volume, a void, that is made with a CMS machine, a cavity monitoring machine, which makes a scan of a void underground. Now the problem with it is that when you look at it in 3D and look at something like this, you can see that there's a hole in it at both ends. Also, you can see these little radii sticking out here. So it's not a complete volume, it's got problems. So it's almost impossible to do a valid volume on a closed volume. So we have a tool that will help clean this up and turn it into a valid volume. So I'm just going to switch this back to wireframe and switch back to a top view. Okay, so the command is called ASDM, and basically what it does, it comes up and asks you, is it a block or is it a mesh? So in this case, if I had already processed this once and I want to go back and edit it, I would select block. Since this is the first time I'm running it, I'm going to select mesh. I'm going to give it a name. So we're just going to call it volume 1. Select the mesh. You just pick on the mesh, and the screen splits so that we can see the top view and the side view. So here's the side view here, and you can see the slices that it cut through it. Now at the beginning I could have set how fine a resolution I wanted the slices. I'm going to leave it at 1, in this case 1 meter. I could have moved it to half a meter or whatever. The more slices you add, the more time it takes to process. The ones that are in green are basically ones that it says are valid and doesn't have an issue with them. The ones that are in yellow, it has issues with it. Also, you'll notice it didn't put a cut at the bottom, so I'm going to manually put a cut in. So as I do that, I just go in here and say add cut. Okay, oh, sorry, switch to this view. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to select this. You can see a little purple line appears. I just pick where I want that slice to go. So I'm just going to slice it right at the bottom here, just like that. And it says, do you want to put another one in or whatever? No, I say I'm fine. Escape. So you can see the slice. Again, it's gone in yellow because it's saying that there's issues with that. There's probably a hole or multiple ones or little pieces left out. So what I want to do is look at that slice. I come over on this side and I just hit the arrow up. You can see the one that turns red is the one I'm working on. So here is the line that I'm working on. You can see why it has problems. It's crossed over itself and whatnot. And if I actually go in and say check for self-crossing, it's going to come in and say, oh yeah, there's problems with it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this line, and this one, and this one. And actually I'm going to erase this one as well. No, I don't want to remove the slice. And what I'm going to do is just draw a P-line to represent the shape, but corrected to what I think it should be. You can see the little dots here. I'm just sort of doing a quick trace on the outline of the dots. Let me just turn off those dynamic input. You're just getting in the way. There. It's a little better. Now I've got some stuff out here, but those are just on the periphery, so I'm not going to worry about those too much. And just close that shape. And now I want to add right here I'm just going to add it to the slice. There. Okay, so it's saying, okay, that's when it's turned red. So it shows that's what I'm working on. If I go up, you see it's green. That means it's been accepted by the system. Again, this one has some problems. So piece sticking out here, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Piece sticking out here. Alright, then I want to join these together, so I'm just going to do that, crossing, joins them together, and then Control 1 just to bring up my properties, select the line, just stretch this down a bit, and I want to close it. Yes. Okay. There's a closed shape. Go to my next slice. Now you can see it's turned green. It's accepted it. So this one, I'm just going to do a crossing like that, and then select it, and then close it. Yes. Go to my next one. Same issue again. And you notice the zigzags in here. Don't worry about those too much, because when it makes the wireframe, it's going to remove most of those zigzags. Smooth it out a little bit, basically. Okay, and again, select this. And say yes to that. Okay, go up to the next one, and then so on. Each one is green, so at that point it's pretty well accepted it. Down like that. So I'm going to go through each one, make sure they look good. Perfect. Now the next step I want to do, I'm done with this wireframe now, so I can just turn it off, so I am left with just my slices themselves. So you can see them there. So I'm going to go down a little bit. Let me just dock this. Dock anchor to the left. There we go. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to show all of the start points to make sure they all line up. So I'm just going to say start points. Okay, so you can see the start points that appeared, and you can see they're kind of all over the place. I want them all at one corner. Now I can just pick it like this, and then just pick where I want it to go, like that. You can see how it highlights, so I know which one I'm doing. Like so. Right. So they're all in roughly the same position of the line. Next, I want to see my direction. Now this one's a little hard to do from the screen, but you can see this one is going counterclockwise. This one's going clockwise. This one's going clockwise. This one's going clockwise. This one's going clockwise. So this one's wrong, or different. Not wrong, but different. So we're just going to change its orientation. All the rest of them seem to be going clockwise. Okay, so this one is not. This one here is going to go the other way. Now I can do it another way by going over to this side. If I'm not sure, what I can do is go down to the one I'm interested in. So let's go down like that. So this one here, and then I'm going to look at the slice above and slice below. So just by hitting this, it allows me to see the slice above and the slice below. So you can see them highlight here as I go through. And then I can hit direction, and I can zoom in. At this point I can select which one, so you say, alright, that's direction, no, that direction. Okay. When I'm finished, and I'm reasonably sure it's correct, then I'm just going to say mesh all. Pick one of, now it wants to know what my division line is. This is if you have something called a tie line. In this case I'm not bothering with tie lines. And there's my mesh made from the wireframe. Okay. Now that is ready to be given, to give it a volume, so I'm just going to give it a volume name, create, and then calculate. So there's the volume of that shape. Okay, so that's lesson 1. We can go through more details about doing pant leg situations or whatever. That'll be in the next video. That's it for now.